Here we are at the old cornerstone of our church, and they've left these standing, which is interesting. Kind of appreciate it. And then here's where we used to be, and it kind of takes your heart away to see it, but to know that we'll have totally new structure here. In the middle of the property will be the sanctuary and the church. At the corner here, up a little bit with giving room for pedestrians. There'll be this cafe with windows and windows along 15th here.
We've been on this journey a long time, 20 years to be exact. We started back in 2002. And it's a journey not only to redevelop our property, but to redevelop ourselves and create a new renewal in the church. And we're listening to a spirit calling us. We've been listening to that call for some 2 decades now, and I think we're responding very well to that.
With this big vision, there were lots of questions. And we sort of said, if you're not going to go big, then why do anything at all? And so as we thought about this small group of faithful congregants, we said, this gathering will be larger in the future, and the site awaits construction crews to come in and to begin building what's going to be a very new and different building in the University District.
I'm excited about the new building because I hear there's going to be a really beautiful stained glass in the inside just to represent the PNW nature, as well as just be a really beautiful centerpiece for our new community. And I really like to do art in my free time, so I'm looking forward to that. As well as I know there'll be just more of a community gathering space where there's a local coffee shop. It's going to be part of student housing at UW. And so just being able to draw in more diverse communities to be connected with our university gathering church.
We worked with Meriwether Advisors to market our property. They are commercial real estate advisors. Their processes developed a brochure for our property that was distributed in a worldwide internet system. Advisors of that level have. We had like over 1,300 inquiries back on that marketing, initial marketing of that property, some serious. We narrowed that down to about 30 individual developers who were serious enough to take another step on there, sent out a request for interest to them. They responded, and from that selection, we narrowed it down to 30 developers and asked for a request for proposals from those 10 of those developers. And from that, we narrowed it down to 3 finalists. And out of all of that process of winning it down, we chose ACC, American Campus Communities, as our partner to develop with.
And in this process, we are really stepping out to something very unique, kind of a new model of doing urban ministry. We will have, as you may know, a student apartments above our gathering space on the first floor. Over us will be student housing, and there'll be, again, so many opportunities to intersect, to provide hospitality, to create community with our resident members above us. And in all these things, I'm excited to step out into that unknown and figure out how it's a spirit calling us to connect with our community today.
The building will have basically 3 condominiums. One condominium will be the parking lot. Another condominium will be the 2 towers, which will be multiple housing for students. And then the third and the unique part is that University Gathering, this new congregation will be back again in that same location, ministering and serving and working with the partners in our community.
Our new start date now is scheduled for about May of 2023, and we're still focused on achieving our goals for the project. Those goals for development are still very much alive, but they have faced a significant speed bump due to the issues that we have all faced in the past couple of years. The COVID pandemic issue substantially disrupted normal processes for construction of these large buildings, and it's created an inflationary environment. There's delays in the city permitting process and being able to get these permits through the city procedures and authorized. The supply chain disruptions that are caused shortage of the materials. The sanctions and tariffs increase the cost of basic materials. They're all inflationary and working against us here in terms of where we were 2 years ago. But our congregation is spiritually strong, and we will meet our goals for continued ministry within the University District.
Jesus didn't spend all his time teaching in the synagogue. He went out to where the people were, and the people flocked to him. He told them amazing stories that piqued their curiosity. When he was teaching and preaching, people brought their sick and he healed them. He embraced the leper. He called the blind man to see, and he caused the lame man to leap for joy. He went where the people were. And we at the Gathering United Methodist Church here in the University District are trying to do the same thing. And our building will reflect that we want to move out beyond the walls of our new building, to greet people where they are, to welcome them into where we are, so that we can be together. Jesus was kind of a party dude. In one of the Gospels, his very first miracle was turning pots of water, big pots of water, into wine, so that the wedding celebration could go on for maybe 3 more days. He loved celebrating with people. He loved people. He was the love of God made real in people's lives. We want to be like that also.
It's good to be with all of you this day in this video and to give thanks to you for the ministry that you are engaging in now and for the ways that you provide an example for all of us as a district, as a conference, as a denomination. Your story is an inspiration to all of us as you enter into a liminal space, clearly aware of the risks that are a part of this journey. There is much that has been lost. There's many ways that you have sacrificed. There are many challenges that you've walked through, and know that there are still many challenges ahead for you as well. But you do so with the belief that this journey, it is one that God is calling you upon, and that as you walk this journey, God is working inside of you now to shape you into a new church. We recognize in so many ways that you are an example for all of our churches to follow. As you have demolished your historic building, I recognize how difficult that must have been in reality. But for all of us who are watching this and seeing your witness, it reminds us of a very powerful truth. And that is that if we want to embrace deep change, we're going to have to let go of the things that are no longer working. We're going to have to find a way to let go of those things that keep us from advancing the mission that God has called us upon as a church. And come to see that in opening us up to this unknown future, God is seeking to do something inside of us that is shaping us as a church to be a new community, doing ministry in a new way. Our prayer is that as you engage in this journey through the wilderness, that what you will come to see is that God is leading you toward a future of greater inclusion, that you would find that your church is opened up to new people with new stories and new experiences who make your community even more rich and even more full than it is at the present time. And it is in this great diversity that God is leading you to change. And it is also how God is leading you to a future of innovative ministry, coming to understand that as you move into this new space, that you will come to see that God is seeking to do a new thing as you discover how to do ministry in a new way, as you discover how it is that you are called to be in community, engaged in ministry in the community.
One of my professors from seminary who taught Methodist history, he provocatively would say that we have become the very church that Wesley sought to reform, meaning that we've become that big established church that needs to be revitalized and reimagined. One of the things I'm very excited and proud as your pastor of this congregation is that you are a church in that spirit. Even though it's so easy to fall into the status quo, into the everyday rhythms of church as usual, you have discerned an exciting plan of moving into the future, of reimagining what it means to gather together in the name of Christ today. It led you to repurpose your building to work in a way that would be a community hub for others. So it would not be this insular cathedral anymore. And so we find ourselves in this exciting time, like John Wesley, stepping out into the unknown, imagining something different and walking forward in faith. And I'm excited to do that with you.